Marvellous. One more to go, and this is probably going to be helping to answer a question that many of us face all of the time. We please welcome Clare Browne and her thesis topic, Timing of Reinforcement During Dog Training.
Thank you. Hi. Before I start, I'd just like to thank my supervisors for their support and also all the participants that took part in my study, the dog owners. Unfortunately, none of the dogs could be here tonight, but thank you very much to them as well. Okay. As a dog owner myself, I can tell you that there is nothing quite as awkward as when your dog goes and puts their nose in your mother-in-law's crutch. Avoidance of situations such as this is a good argument for the importance of dog training. Another good argument for the importance of dog training is guide dogs. Also, the 200,000 farm dogs we have in New Zealand. The dogs that detect landmines, drugs, and find lost trampers. The dogs that warn their owners when a diabetic coma or epileptic seizure is imminent. The dogs that sniff out cancers. The dogs that have been instrumental in saving our kiwi and kakapo. And the thousands of dogs that we keep as our pets. In all of these roles, as either working or companion animals, dog training is required. So improving the efficacy of dog training is the aim of my PhD. Reinforcement is the technical term for what is often called rewarding a dog. When reinforcement is given after a dog performs a behaviour, it will increase the probability of that behaviour occurring again. So for example, if you ask a dog to sit, and when it does sit, you give it a piece of food or a pat on the head, it's more likely to sit next time you ask it to. From studies on rats and pigeons, we know that delaying this reinforcement can impair learning, but this hasn't been studied in dogs. What we do know about dogs is that they're remarkably responsive to human body language and our voice. For example, dogs are more likely to disobey commands if a person is not watching them. This is one of my supervisor's dogs. Because dogs are so receptive to our behaviour, it's possible that they're also sensitive to the timing of reinforcement. I started my research by filming owners training their dogs at local dog clubs. I used computer software to measure their timing of reinforcement and found that it was remarkably varied. Some owners would reinforce their dogs almost immediately, whereas others took over 5 seconds. That's a long time if you're a Labrador. The second finding is that almost 40% of commands resulted in nothing. The dogs completely ignored their owners for a huge proportion of the time. So this is not very efficient training. My next step is to set up some training exercises in a lab setting where I can control the owner's timing of reinforcement. I'll put the dogs and the owners in separate rooms and use audio-visual and remote-controlled equipment to control when the dogs receive the reinforcement from their owners, and some of this will be delayed. I'll then measure how well the dogs respond to the different delays. We have 500,000 dogs here in New Zealand, and so far my research has revealed that perhaps our dog training methods aren't quite as efficient as we would like to think. The aim of this research is to be able to help everyone who trains a dog to do so better, hopefully helping with everything from training conservation dogs to find kiwi to redirecting the enthusiasm of those embarrassing pets. Thank you.
Thank you, Clare.